We're ready. Okay. Let me call to order this meeting of the City Council and WPCA. This is a regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. And we have, do we have a quorum? Who is on Zoom?
I am.
Thank you, Dave.
You're
All
welcome.
right, so we do have a quorum of council members attending in person here in the council chambers. I have Councilman Waldron, Councilman Iveyne, and Councilman Cavanero. Attending via Zoom, I have Councilman Oliver. I do believe Councilwoman Ruette and Councilwoman Spino will be joining us. She will not. Councilwoman Spino will not be joining us, but Councilwoman Ruette said she would be late. So we do have a quorum. Before I ask everyone to stand and pledge the flag, just for the people attending in person this evening or anybody attending via Zoom, we are having technical difficulties with our Zoom component. It is my understanding that anybody that has logged on remotely can see us and hear us. The only thing is we cannot see anybody who is online. So if there's anybody asking to speak during the public portion, I will not be able to recognize you. And I do apologize. We are trying to correct that situation. With that said, before we get into the agenda, could we kindly all stand and pledge the flag? All right. Item number 1 on the agenda tonight is to open the meeting to the public. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Cavanero, and I think that I heard Councilman Waldron. Thank you. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are open to the public in a room full of public. Is there anyone that wishes to address the council this evening? No. So you'll see Heather get up and check the screen every once in a while, and I do apologize if it's a distraction. All right, no public comment. We're moving into item number 2. I will entertain a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes from August 18th, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Councilman Iveyne, seconded by Councilman Cavanero. Questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is 6:33 p.m. And for the record, Councilwoman Ruette is present. Thank you.
Mayor, I have to abstain from that vote.
An abstention for Councilman Oliver.
Thank you.
All right, item 3, I will entertain a motion to reappoint Aaron Stelma, Christine Altman, and Dan McGinnis as regular members of the Conservation Commission for a term set to expire September 4th, 2028.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Iveyne.
Second.
And seconded by Councilman Waldron. And are there questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call this motion. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, I will entertain a motion to authorize the mayor to execute and amend the Torrington Public Works Employees Union Contract. This is an agreement between the City of Torrington and Local 2212 of Council 4, AFSCME AFL-CIO, dated July 1, 2025, through June 30th, 2029, as further explained in the Director of Human Resources memo, which is dated August 21st, 2025.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Cavanero.
Second.
And seconded by Councilman Iveyne. And the floor is open for questions. I just want to acknowledge that our HR Director, Denise Karpewski, is here for questions if there are any. And absent hearing any questions, I just want to acknowledge the immense amount of work that that Ms. Karpewski put in and the negotiating team. I think it was a really well negotiated contract, and I think that everybody walked away relatively happy. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, Denise, if there's anything you want to add. Yeah, sure.
Good evening, council members and mayor. Thank you so much for the attention. But yes, I would like to publicly thank all the members from both sides of the parties for the negotiating team. The members have ratified on August 14th. The feedback that we received is that they were very pleased with the result. And we did put a lot of attention in trying to arrive at an agreement that was agreeable to both parties without being a burden to the taxpayers. So thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Last call for questions? None? All right, I'll call the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 5, I will entertain a motion by the City Council, herein acting as a Water Pollution Control Authority, to approve the following payments from Fund 490 Sanitary Sewer Capital Improvement. This is for invoice number 2001 to Yield Industries LLC in the amount of $10,700. And this is for the 619 Midgeon Avenue Emergency Sewer Repair.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Iveyne.
Second.
Second from Councilman Cavanero. Are there questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 6, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the tax collector and authorize the tax refunds indicated in a list dated September 2nd, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Councilman Waldron, and seconded by Councilman Iveyne. Are there questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of the tax collector and authorize the sewer use refunds indicated in the list dated September 2nd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Iveyne, seconded by Councilwoman Ruette. Are there questions or comments on the list or the memo? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. At this point, I need to ask the council to indulge the addition of an agenda item. I would call this Schedule B. We didn't add it anywhere else on the agenda, did we? Okay.
No.
So it's to add a Schedule B. For the council to, how do I want to put this? For the council to receive a report from the elections department, that would be our registrar of voters, Fred Jury, and Jacques Williams is not here this evening. And the registrar's clerk, Melissa Russell, and to authorize the relocation of one of the city's polling places. Do I have a motion to add this to the agenda for discussion and potential action?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Was that Councilman Waldron, seconded by Councilman Oliver? So I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed? So 3 in favor, 2 opposed. The motion carries. So again, the motion to add it to the agenda, that was just to add it to the agenda.
Understand. Don't you need 2/3 majority to move forward? So 3 out of 5 is 60%.
You can vote, Mayor.
Is it 2/3 to add?
I have,
I'm glad. Are you up on your parliamentary procedures?
I think it's 2/3.
It is 2/3. Okay, well then I can't add this to the agenda.
Unless you vote.
I can only vote for a tie in the case of a tie.
Isn't that 2/3 of city council without your vote?
Well, yeah, I can only vote in a breaking of a tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is,
No, and Molly cannot. Come on, can she? All right. All right. It's not going to happen. All right. So item number 8, I'll entertain a motion to consider business by department heads. Do I have a motion?
so moved.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ruette. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Waldron. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, department heads. So our registrars are department head. Do you want to report out? Could you come to the microphone? And I don't know, Melissa, do you want to join him?
Point of order.
Yes.
Is Fred Drury necessarily a department head?
Yes.
He's a registrar
Registrar
of
of
voters.
Which is
Has-
the department of the city?
Was he invited here? And was Jock invited here?
It is my understanding that,
I spoke to Jacques this morning and he's having automotive difficulties and didn't think he could get here tonight.
okay.
But was he invited?
Oh, yeah. I invited him myself.
Just,
Okay, this is just a report, no vote. It's just a report. All right, and I know that Melissa has provided the council members a memo. So, and I don't know, Fred, did you want to speak to the memo or read the memo into the record?
I just would like the council to know that I spent almost 14 hours at the last election at the Armory working because we had one of our tabulators failed in the morning. And I was there from late morning all the way till 2 o'clock in the morning. But we finally got all the ballots fed through the new tabulator. So I spent a lot of time at the Armory in the last election. Jacques also was there with me for quite a bit of that time. There's a trip and fall hazard at the Armory. Numerous people stumbled. Thankfully, no one fell. The last thing I want to see is one of our older citizens, of whom I'm now one, somebody stumble and fall and break a hip or something terrible and wind up suing the city. The building is not safe and it does not comply with the Americans for Disabilities Act. That's a federal law. There's no curb cuts for a wheelchair to come across the street and get up onto the sidewalk. The angle of the ramps is too steep. One of them complies, two of them don't, for the wheelchairs entering the building. And there's no handicap parking provisions at the Armory. And for those reasons, we'd like to see the voters vote at Vogel-Wetmore School. There's plenty of parking across the street from Vogel-Wetmore. And there's a stoplight where if someone needs a walk indicator, they can push the button and go across the street with the walk light. Much safer than where we're at right now. Unfortunately, you can't take that up tonight. Perhaps we can do it again next month. I will look into it.
So, no, I appreciate that. And Melissa, I think because there are people that are tuned in via Zoom that and they don't have the privilege of being able to read or understand the memo. Would you kindly read the memo into the record?
You'll lend me your copy. Okay, so I delve into three parts on this memo. One is the history of making the change. One is why Vogel-Wetmore School was chosen as an alternative. And the third one is getting the word out so to minimize issues with the voters. So the first one, history of making the change. We had two known incidents at the building. The first was one of our setup crew tripping on the tarp taped to the floor and injuring his arm. He did have to seek medical care for this. The second incident involved a woman who fell from her wheelchair on election day while using the ramp outside the entrance. I have also received anecdotal reports that individuals have tripped on the tarp over the years and that several falls have occurred. However, of those incidents, I have no record. ADA compliance. There are issues with compliance with the federal Americans with Disabilities Act. Using the federal ADA polling place checklist, Jamie Sikora and I assessed the building and found two key issues. The outer ramp is considerably out of compliance. And when we talk about the outer ramp, just for informational purposes, we divide it into three ramps because it's one, then a turn, then two, then a turn, then three, okay? The lowest ramp was fine.
the middle and upper ramps were quite steep and out of compliance. And there are no ADA compliant parking spaces. And just again, for informational purposes, it's more than just putting a sign in front of the door that says handicap parking. There are other requirements with clearances so that wheelchairs can get out of a van, and you don't want a curb because a wheelchair can't get over a curb. Long lines and waiting times. Despite being the largest voting district in Torrington, the Armory recorded fewer than 3,000 election day voters last November. This should have been an easy and fast-moving process, even with the tabulators that broke down. The largest complaint I heard regarding this was that we didn't use the front steps and doors for the entrance. The decision to use side doors was based, again, on ADA compliance considerations and the potential difficulty some mobility impaired voters could face when using the front granite steps. They are steep and granite can get slippery. In December, after the election, the mayor called a meeting of all interested parties to discuss the problems and issues of the election. In attendance at that meeting were the mayor, Corporation Council, the chairs of both the Democratic and Republican parties, the town clerk and her assistant, both registrars of voters, and myself. We discussed all the areas where we felt improvement was needed, and the issues at the Armory were a large part of that discussion. During the conversation, relocating the polling place to Vogel Wetmore School was suggested, and consensus seemed to be reached. At least there was, to my recollection, no voiced opposition. So the next section is why we selected Vogel Wetmore as a replacement. The first issue was the number of people who walked to the Armory to vote. So it was important that if we made a change, we find a place that would allow people to continue to do so. The school is less than a mile from the Armory and is centrally located in downtown Torrington. Additionally, the school has marked crosswalks with pedestrian signals to make it safer for individuals who walk to the polls. The gym at the school is ADA compliant, so there are no issues with levels or doorways. There is ample parking at the school and proper handicapped spaces that allow for wheelchair access. There is a generator at the school, which could eliminate the need for expensive battery backup systems to power the tabulators. Voting can continue even if a power outage occurs. So one of the biggest drawbacks to moving the polling place is getting the word out to the voters. It's important that any changes that are made be well publicized and advertised. Some of the things we can do are press releases for both WZBG and WAPJ, press releases for both the Rep-Am and the Register Citizen, posts on social media such as Facebook, Instagram, and maybe TikTok. This includes not only the official Torrington pages, but also various Torrington-centric pages. Postcards can be sent to every household in the district in both English and Spanish. Signage around downtown and other places where gatherings are held, such as social clubs, lodges, popular restaurants, churches, if they allow it, etc. And we can have signage at the Armory itself. On election day, we can hire someone to redirect voters who come to the Armory by mistake. We can even have little maps printed that show where the school is in relation to the Armory. It may even be possible, if necessary, to hire a shuttle bus during peak hours to bring voters from the Armory to the school.
So based on these findings, particularly the ADA compliance, which I agree with you, in that meeting that we had that you noted in your notes,
Mayor,
there,
order.
yeah.
I've been really tolerant here. Normally, comments for the good of the order are limited to 3 minutes. This has gone way past that, number one. Number two, very specifically, the second public comment portion in our agendas is always, always, always to comment on agenda items.
Absolutely. No, you're
Since
100%
there
correct.
was no agenda item,
Yes.
this whole thing is actually quite improper.
No, she's reporting under department heads.
Is what?
Reporting under department heads. Yeah, this is a department head agenda item, not public comment.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. So I know that the council is not ready to entertain any motion. I'm not even sure that it requires the council's decision on relocating of a polling place. I don't know enough about
Pretty
that.
clear on that.
Yeah.
The
Yes, it is.
statutes are, the registrars have to agree. If they don't agree, it has to go, the plan has to be presented to Secretary of State
Okay.
and
So-
voted on by city council.
good.
Excuse me, 9-169 says if the registrars don't agree, the legislative body makes the decision. You folks are the legislative body of the city of Torrington.
Yeah.
I believe that's what he
just
said.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's a little tough to
Yeah,
hear.
because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you have to submit a project plan and we would vote on that.
Good.
And this
And you're
is
not prepared to vote on that this evening.
This-
I
this
hear
is
you.
No,
not-
this is strictly informational.
Which is exactly how is presented here as an informational memo. But I do want to again stress that because of the ADA compliance, when you talk about the ramp that is out of compliance, it is a ratio of the incline that is out of compliance, correct?
That is correct. And what we used was the federal ADA checklist for polling places, which is available online at ada.gov.
Okay.
So they have very specific requirements for polling places.
All right, so it's the ramp, it is the parking spaces
Yep.
that present the non-compliance.
Correct.
And if we are non-compliant in those areas, what would be the downside? What punitive measures could be taken for us? Being out of
Honestly, I've never seen a community, and I've been in this business since 2005, often, part-time and then full-time here. I've never seen a community knowingly ignore ADA standards. I do know that if there is an ADA complaint filed, the Department of Justice gets involved. That happened in our town in Bethlehem, and I know it happened in Waterbury, and it was expensive.
So there could be a monetary fine if we,
Well, even if you just fix the things they tell you to fix, generally, they don't tell you to fix free things.
right.
They're gonna tell you to spend money.
And just for the record, because I know that there's some tension about this issue. Obviously, we're very close to a municipal election. This is something that is concerning to the local voters. But when you're new to this community, when we were having this conversation, how did it come to your attention that Vogel Wetmore was an option? How did that
It was-
information get
It
relayed?
was suggested at that meeting. I wasn't really aware that Vogel Wetmore could be used. And to be honest with you, I don't remember who suggested it.
But after that meeting, because I do recall the suggestion, and the direction to you was to reach out to the Board of Education and see if they would accommodate that
Correct.
location, correct?
Correct.
And that's what you did after that meeting, where both the chairman of the Democratic Town Committee and the Republican Town Committee, and both registrars, together with the city clerk and the assistant city clerk, and myself and Corporation Counsel were present. Those were the orders that were given to you when that meeting concluded, correct?
Yes. Yes. I wouldn't say it was like given an order, but it was suggested that I do that because we had so many issues on election day at that polling
I
place.
disagree with this narrative.
So, and I'm going to give this to you in a second. The reason I bring that up is my recollection of that meeting was exactly that. And I think that Melissa has done everything we asked her to do in that meeting. And now she's reporting back to us as to what her findings are. Okay? So it's to you.
Okay. Yeah, just that we had a postmortem on everything that went wrong on last year's election. Fine, we put it down. We discussed that, what the possible outcomes. They needed to be reviewed and assessed and analyzed appropriately. But we're now 9 months later after that meeting. We shouldn't be making any kind of change right prior to an election. It'll cause further chaos without a documented plan, and it doesn't show that we're prepared for this type of change. So that's more concerning than what happened last year. We probably should go back and address the issues at the Armory that happened, going in the front door, coming out the side door, maybe tape down your mats differently. There's a lot of things that could be done.
Sorry, take down, I'm sorry.
Tape down the mats that you claim is a problem.
Oh, they are taped down.
So you called for a tripping hazard there, but maybe it was the chaos of the long lines that created the problem on the ramp. As we had a lot of people lining up and going up the ramp when probably they shouldn't be using the handicap ramp for that. So I think that now is not the time to make that change right prior to an election without the proper notification. So that is concerning me, that we would basically waited 9 months, took no action to correct the ramp, took no action for a better plan, and that we're just presenting this information without a plan to move a polling place.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, I wish that it had happened sooner. As you know, I was out on medical leave for several months. So nothing moved on it until I got back. My first order of business when I got back was to contact the folks who schedule what happens at the schools to see if we could even use the school and go from there.
All right. Here, Councilwoman Ruette has a question.
I guess I'm just naive to this whole situation. Not having been involved in the prior meeting with the chairs of the RTCs and the DTC
yeah.
and the clerks. And so I was trying to ask corporate counsel on the side, and I apologize for that, but just, this isn't a building, a public building that is ADA compliant. Is not.
The Armory is not ADA
No,
compliant.
I understood it to be compliant, but not compliant for polling place. Is that correct?
Based on the incline of the ramp, the middle deck and the top deck, the incline is out of compliance for ADA accessibility, not only for polling, but ADA accessibility, something we can't correct between now and November. And the parking spaces, in the past, what we've done, as I understand it, is Torrington Police Department would come out and they would block off or cordon off 2 parking spaces. But those parking spaces go up to a curb. There's no way to mount that curb if you're in a wheelchair. So you have to go all the way to the end of the sidewalk.
I have
Yeah.
for 20 years been, standing at the polls at that location, so I understand the challenges of it. So I guess with not having Jacques Williams here, is this the reason why it's coming to council? There's not a consensus or an agreement between the 2 registrars? Is that the bottom line?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm, since she gave her a report, and there's so much to think about and talk
Right.
about, I was naive to this situation. other
I
than-
don't even believe that this report was provided with the Democratic Registrar's input. And I think that essentially is wrong.
Okay.
Melissa should have taken input from
But I
both
don't know, I
registrars.
don't know
to
that.
include
because
that.
May I make
registrar
my
isn't
point of
here.
order now, please?
Okay, yeah, please, Councilman Cavanero.
Look, this is this is very complicated, okay? But it's also very significant. In no small part, the reason the Democratic registrar voted no to move it is because historically, or as long as I can remember, and going back generations, that has historically been the one sort of pro-democratic polling place in all of Torrington. Most skew, you know this. I mean, you're all politicians, you know that,
I don't know that to be
I
true.
don't
I
think
think
that's
it-
true.
well,
I'd like to hear that
in the
because,
past, okay.
No,
Yeah.
from the. from
Maybe
the-
that's anecdotal, but that's always been whenever I've attended the election day summaries at the end of the vote, you know, at Democratic headquarters. So it's always been, don't make the decision until the Armory, don't make the decision until the Armory, don't make, that is the place where we tend to poll the strongest. That's why you're feeling such a pushback from Democrats on this. Now, having said that, regardless of whether that is technically true or not, I want to add an agenda item to have a special meeting for this, ideally next Monday, okay? This has all kinds of consequences to it, and I don't want it rolled up into WPCA payments or contract payments, or this should be this will have a very serious impact on this November's election, and it's absolutely worthy of a special meeting where you can air your arguments, you can air yours, Jacques Williams can argue his, and, you know, we'll deal with it.
So Monday, the 8th, special meeting.
That would be good for me. What about the rest of the
That
council?
work. So we just got notification. No.
Normal time, I would assume. I mean,
I'm out of
Sorry,
state,
no,
but I
6:30
could
is
probably
what
come
we
back
usually do.
or I can certainly Zoom into this.
I think that's difficult.
The 8th is okay? You're not good
Yeah,
for
and I think not loud.
Yeah, so yes. So, and I'm sorry, I don't want to be cryptic, Councilwoman Spino, who did Zoom in, unfortunately had to log off. There has been a death in her family. So out of respect to Councilwoman Spino, I think you're right. I think we should have this conversation when she's also available.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
All right. So
Absolutely.
we'll poll the members to see what is convenient. And I think that I would just sort of like to sort of calm the waters a little bit. I don't think it's an argument. I think it's a presentation of the facts and the concerns. And to Councilman Ivane's point, you know, a plan is submitted to the Secretary of State, and then it's up to this council to make a decision. I think this council wants to make a decision based on all of the facts. And that was my charge to the registrar's office. Bring us the facts. That's all this is supposed to be, a fact-finding mission. And even to the point of the non-compliance of the ramp, it was important for me to understand what is the, you know, what are the numbers, you know, how far off are we out of compliance? To quote her, it's a math thing, a ratio of 1 to 20 and, you know, the number of feet, and it is complicated. But again, the issue that we were trying to get on the record tonight so that everybody could start digesting it in a meaningful way so that you are prepared to take a vote
Correct.
is to hear all those facts.
Yeah.
So we can certainly bring in some legal advice about what the downside is of knowingly trying to hold an election in a place that is not completely ADA accessible. I think a clear understanding from the Secretary of State's office, what are the rules for changing a location? And
I've been on the phone with several of them multiple times over this issue.
yeah. And then, you know, I mean, obviously, I don't want it to be an emotional decision. I think that it is not an issue of party politics. It's an issue about voters' accessibility.
That's right, Mayor. And, you know, it is my at least perception, I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years myself now, you know, is an awful lot of seniors vote there,
Yes.
you know, and quite frankly, as a senior myself, we don't like change, you know?
That's true.
We don't, and we don't like last minute change, and we don't like last minute change in November on a drizzly day. And I think I think it just behooves us to try to make that place work for them instead of trying to figure out a way how we're going to get them with traditionally close to or walking distance to that pole, somehow to Vogel, Wetmore. Yeah, I think all these things need to be on the table.
Got it. All right. We'll make sure that that is the case. And I'll certainly work with the registrars of voters the best I can. They will work with their clerk, and we'll bring back as much factual information as you need to make a
Very good, thank you.
data-driven decision. We're good?
Yep.
All right.
I'd also like to request that we have an ADA report provided on that inspection. I find it strange that we just replaced the 7,500 square foot gym floor without that kind of review. How long have we known this was out of compliance, and why wasn't not addressed as part of the Armory updates?
And if
We
it is
could
out
have
of compliance,
allocated
shouldn't we
funds
shut
to
that building
address
down
that.
right now? If we've got liability litigious issues around that, we've got, I think, right, PAL, basketball leagues playing there?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
No, they're in the schools now.
They're
Yeah.
not there?
But there are a number of youth and young adults activities there. Absolutely.
Thing, if
We'll get
it's dangerous, it's dangerous for the kids
Yeah.
as much as for adults, certainly.
Yeah. Definitely. I hear all that. We'll bring back all of the, and if there are other questions that you have
Mhm.
between now and that next meeting, feed them to me.
Okay.
If there are, if there are other resources you need us to bring to the table, I'm going to do my best to bring everything so that you have everything in front of
Yeah.
you.
And further, we have, it looks like a lot of construction over there. It's a little bit intimidating by 2 out of 4 streets are now blocked off with a lot of rubble on one side of the lot. People will be confused just going to the Vogel Wetmore complex at this time.
Oh my goodness, that construction better be done by then.
Yeah, no matter where you go in the city.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's going to be an issue. So maybe people are not familiar, we've been using Armory for 100 years. People are familiar with going there and they were confused by not going in the front door. To go to the Vogel Wetmore this time would just add confusion and chaos to this kind of change.
Okay.
So I think it's a little too close to the election. We should probably start over in December, far space away from the elections, and then get to work on this type of change.
All right. But there will be a special meeting so that this vote can take place because it was not added to the agenda for vote tonight. We're good.
Yep.
We're good? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jury. I need my glasses. How about our HR director? Do you have anything to add this evening? And okay, Mr. Towsey, is there anything from WPCA? I'm hearing nothing. Anybody else from departments? Anything from the city clerk's office?
Nothing for me tonight, Mayor. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Towsey. Anything from
EP.
Corporation Council?
Me?
No, Corporation Council.
I just have a question.
Yeah.
To prepare for the next ordinance subcommittee meeting, there was a meeting where Mr. Klug appeared and was talking about an exemption for farmers that he wanted to look at. And I don't know what that is. Who can tell me, what is that? So that
It was.
for the next ordinance subcommittee, we can look at.
It's not an exemption. It's, it's an increase in the amount that can be exempt. So I think currently, or prior to this grand list, it was a $100,000 exemption against taxable property. And I think the legislature in the last session increased it to 200,000.
Okay.
And I'll find that statute for you.
Or I could ask Stacy.
Public
probably
Act.
knows.
Stacy will know.
We'll call Stacy.
Yeah.
That's it. Other than that, nothing.
Not even the Yankee Peddler? Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Edler. Really want to know?
Yeah, I think they do.
So I think the last time we met and talked about the Yankee Peddler, I reported that the defendant, Jason Hospitality, had made a motion to the court to terminate the receivership. And we had several days of hearings on that. And the Superior Court, Judge Lynch, denied that motion to terminate the receivership. And Jason Hospitality has now appealed that decision to the appeals court, the Connecticut Appeals Court. So we'll be looking at that. I spoke to Attorney Nelligan about it today. We will likely retain outside counsel. We did have outside counsel, attorney Wes Horton's firm, who specialized in appeals, Supreme Court Appeals Court. I reached out to them a little bit today because I'm wondering, you know, was this a final judgment that they can appeal from? But in any event, we have to look at that going forward, and we may again just re-engage outside counsel to handle that appeal. Because it's something that Attorney Nelligan and I, you know, we don't really do appellate practice. It's a very kind of niche practice. But it could just delay the peddler things a little bit further. We are scheduled to be in court again on the motion to sell the peddler on September 23rd. How that'll all play out and how this appeal will affect that, I can't really say today.
Can I ask a question on that?
Please, yeah.
One more time. Who's paying for all these legal fees? Who will pay for Torrington's legal fees on this? We will, or will
Well-
Jason Hospitality?
It depends where it goes. If the court approves the sale and
Yeah.
there is a sale, then there's a pecking order of what gets paid out of the
Out of the-
proceeds of the sale.
Okay, okay.
And the plaintiffs, the city of Torrington's expenses would get paid
Reimbursed, okay,
out of the proceeds of the sale.
okay,
Right.
all right.
If there's anything left.
But also, if I can add to that, because I do think, and I'm sure that you as council members are getting these questions repeatedly. To date, all of the fees that have been, I apologize, my family group text is going nuts. Sorry. The council did agree when we decided that we were going to take this action against Jason Hospitalities to allow up to $60,000 to fund building stabilization and legal, from our blight funds. So we have not been using taxpayers' funds. We have been using the blight fines that have been collected in other non-compliant, now I'm starting to not like that word, non-compliant properties. So I feel that, you know, and at the time that I asked the council if they would consider taking that action, the safety net that we had was we will recover those expenses once the property is sold or the receivership is terminated and the property is restored to the owner. That owner would have to reimburse the city for the expenses. So I always felt there was low risk in us making that
No, I
investment.
understand, Mayor.
Good.
I'm
Yeah.
not blame anywhere. This is very complicated. It just,
It gets to
Without-
be, yeah.
without offending the legal profession, when I heard your explanation, it just sounded like the gift that keeps on giving for the
Yeah.
attorneys of Connecticut, you know?
Right.
And was wondering if there's any, I was just wondering what this grand total was, you know, summing up as, that's all. No more than that, just information, because it is getting obviously expensive, but
And we
need to keep pursuing it. I get that.
You do, okay. Because honestly, what I was planning was to bring the project manager and president of the Torrington Development Corporation to the next council meeting and let them make a presentation as to what they've done for building stabilization, for all of the reports, the grant applications, you know, that are, have been used and are pending. And then to seek advice from the council about the continued pursuit on the matter of the appeal, because I do believe that it probably would require some more investment.
Do you
And
think it's
again,
Their strategy is to just drag this out until we get tired of paying our legal bills?
I think they're going to get tired of paying theirs before we do
Yeah, They're
ours.
not paying them, are they?
I don't know. I
Right.
don't know. Their attorneys are,
Family?
no, no, I don't know. I can't say no. But I kind of agree. There was, you know, there's also a question. Was that one motion that was decided by the judge reason for an appeal? You know, so there are those things that need to be looked at as well. So more work to do. It has taken a lot of corporation counsel's time, which you know is not where we write a check and pay that legal bill, but it is a large amount of corporation counsel's time that has
Yeah.
been dedicated to this purpose.
Yeah,
I can get you those
It was
figures.
really information. I'm
Yeah.
not questioning. I know how we got here. I understand the logic behind it. I agree with the decisions made thus far, just
Yeah.
trying to
I know.
see the light at the
Yeah.
end of the tunnel.
Yeah, well, I
All right.
think we all
Fair
are.
enough, Mayor.
Yeah,
Thank you. That's
We're
all I
good.
have.
all right.
Was that even my thing?
No.
No, it wasn't even my thing. Okay.
No.
No,
departments.
Yeah.
that's right. Sorry.
All right, let's get out of the department head agenda
Right.
item, go into item number 9. I'll take a motion to entertain matters by mayor and members.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Cavanero.
Second.
And second by Councilman Iveyne. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And is David Oliver still on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you have anything to add this evening?
No, not tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Cavanero, anything to add?
Nothing further, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ruette.
Nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Councilman Iveyne.
I just want to raise one more concern with our registrar clerk office is that there's annual work to be done. If we had a key employee out, we should probably ask that, where are we with status of annual canvassing and updates of our records so that we can make sure our elections run smoothly. So if we could have that report, maybe not right now, if not at the special, maybe at the next city council meeting. So we just want to make sure we're prepared for this upcoming election. Thank you.
I think my direction to the office was I just don't want the election cycle for the city of Torrington to be anybody's headlines again.
Yeah,
Right.
let's avoid that.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
maybe we should have a annual status, pre-election prep every year.
I think pre-election prep and post, like we did last year, a post-election, what went well, what didn't go so well. Yeah, I agree. The next administration can do that. Councilman Waldron, anything this evening?
Oh, nothing for me.
You have nothing?
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move into item 10. I'm going to entertain a motion to open the meeting back to the public to comment on agenda items only.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Waldron.
Where we land.
Yeah.
Do I have a second? I'm sorry, hold on. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second.
Councilwoman Ruette, all in favor?
aye.
Public, it's for public comment.
We're open to the public. I'm sorry if you wanted to attend, to agenda. And agenda items only. The discussion regarding registrars was the department head report, so
Yeah.
that doesn't count.
Pardon me?
So the discussion from the department head report was not an agenda item. So
It's item number 8. You said she was a department head.
yes, that is correct.
So it was a department head report. So I can comment on item number 8.
No, agenda items would be everything above the department head reports. So the department head report, the department heads is not, the comments by the council members is not an agenda item. That's just a,
So I
Okay.
feel like one side was presented, but not another.
and we will do a special meeting and there will be public comment available at that meeting.
Okay.
Okay. I appreciate you. Thank you. Are there other members of the public that wish to address the council on agenda items? And Corporation Council is advising me it's agenda items that require a vote. Seeing and hearing none? Last call? All right. There being no further business before the board, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ruette. Second by Councilman Waldron. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Adjourned.